Yeah, that's good.
Sense of disappointment, Sean, you've got something out of it?
Yeah, I think results-wise, not in the performance though. I think the performance was very good, and particularly first half. So we're really good first half. Second half they got more of a foothold, keeping possession, dropping a lot deeper to keep possession. We shut down their trying to build from the back. We shut that down really well. To the point even the crowd will say just kick it, which is interesting. But no, I thought the pressing lines were good. I thought the energy was good. The main thing for me was the mentality. It's hard coming to these places, and I spoke to the players about it, going down with an actually mentality that we want to take something, not just a. It's a fine line, sometimes you can get that sort of mentality. Well, all right, and it's kind of a. These are tough places and all that, and it can grow and it gets too powerful. So I said, no, take that away. We want to go down there and actually take the game on to actually get something. And I thought we did that. Even second half, I thought the pressing was still good. Fitness was exceptional because it's a hot day today, and much hotter on pitch side, by the way. So overall, of course, you're disappointed you don't get anything, but the mentality to perform away from home in that manner, on the back of a good performance at home, I was really, really pleased with it. Now of course, you're always laying benchmarks, so now we've got to go and do that again next week.
Response to going behind, as well, right?
Oh, superb. I thought their response. I thought we were a bit unlucky. Don't want to cry at him, but I think Ben's unlucky. I think I've just seen it back. He tries everything he can to get his arm out the way. I don't know where you're meant to put your arm if it's coming like here. I don't know how that's a handball, but just to be clear for your reports, we then had a second phase to deal with it, and we sort of half dealt with it, and then scored from the next one. So, I don't want to cry at him, but I think that still is an important decision because they're in the early part of the game, they're trying to build momentum, of course, and that allowed them to build a bit of momentum. And the second one's a poor giveaway from us, and a good player, a very good player actually, goes and commits a defender and whacks it in the corner, and that sometimes happens.
That's something you've worked. You talk about the pressing, with teams, they're not passing the goal.
Well, it's a strange thing. You know us and you watch a lot. We often get that, they defend and counter. Sometimes because the 11 players out there are really good at getting out of your pressing positions. But I think today we pressed well and we broke the play up so many times, particularly first half. I mean, the number of turnovers from them to us was unbelievable. Partly maybe they could say we didn't play as well, partly our pressing lines and the way that we press. So, you measure that accordingly. But I thought we did a good job on that. And like I say, it's hard to dominate the ball here. So therefore, if they dominate, you've got to get it back. And I thought we did a good show of that today.
The new rule, you don't want to give them a free pass out, do you, really? If Louise could hit one over the top for the pace.
Yeah, I mean, it's the new rule is going to be interesting, I think, and how people use it. But that's for everyone else to decide.
In terms of lads who were close with Charlie got made the bench this time, didn't he? But Robbie's still away.
Yeah, we're getting back to fitness with Stephen Defoe coming back. He's a longer term situation, but he's back on the grass. Robbie's hopefully going to be back on the grass in the next week or so. Charlie's got back on the bench today. We're going to have to operate, we've got a really fit squad at the minute, which is great. So we're going to have to operate. The bench will change. Sometimes the team will change as well because I want to keep everyone alive. There's a really good group here. I'm really enjoying what they've put in pre-season. So I want to make sure everyone's getting a part and everyone's alive and stimulated, ready to play.
So you said on TV you were unhappy with some of Arsenal's...
No, I didn't. I said I was unhappy with the greater good of the game, not about Arsenal. The game's in a really poor state for people diving, feigning injury, all sorts. And I just found it peculiar. I was at a Premier League meeting a couple of weeks ago and they actually told us the worst that can happen is a yellow card. And I said, well, so that means basically every player in the Premier League can cheat at least once a game. So have you ever thought about that? Because I said, I don't know another professional sport or a sport for that matter where they actually tell you can cheat once a game and you just get a warning. I've never heard of that ever in any other sport. I find that really peculiar. I think it's really poor for the game. I've got a son who plays and I can't be hypocritical for my own son. He sees me and goes, Dad, everyone diving on the floor, what's that all about? I go, yeah, well, it's one of them things. That's not for me. I go, no, son, it's unacceptable. Simple as that.
Did they say you can't get it twice in the game?
No, what my point is, it wouldn't matter, would it? Because once you've had one go at it, if you get away with it, you get something from it. If you don't get away with it, then you don't do it again, do you? But you don't know any sport that does that. I don't know many sports. I don't know. Maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe someone will find someone. I'm sure you'll all try. That's your job. Okay, you got it wrong. There was another sport.
Which incidents today?
15 of them. I can't remember them all. No, it's a joke. I'm allowed to joke as well. 3 or 4 incidents. You can decide whether you saw them or not. I'm not going to start because it's not about... The story goes that it'll be about Arsenal. It's not about Arsenal. It's not about Arsenal. It's about the greater good of the game. The game's in a really poor state for people just literally falling on the floor. I'm the only one who ever talks about it. I find that really weird.
Did you see the one
You know Tony Adams, when he was captain here? Can you imagine it? Do you think he'd have accepted it? Do you think he'd have accepted it as captain of his own players, let alone the opposition players? I doubt it.
Well, did you see the one last night, Mitrovic?
No, I didn't actually. I was with the chairman out for dinner last night. It was really nice. He paid as well. Impossible that a Burnley fella buys you dinner. It's an impossible moment in time. It's nearly always my round. You like, sorry?
You won't like him when you see it.
Well, I think, but no one else seems that bothered. And if they're not, that's fine. But I get asked questions about it, so I'm going to answer honestly and authentically. So if my answer doesn't resonate with anyone, that's fine. But when you think of an advert in worldwide football that the Premier League is, and it's blatantly people just fall on the floor, and there's children, millions around the world watching it, how do you expect it to stop? So my son's been playing since he was 8, and I see it all the time on park pitches. I see it, he's in an academy now, but I see it in academies. I see it all the time. And I think, wow, how did that creep into our game?
Why do you think you're the only one speaking about it?
You can ask everyone else.
Acceptance over the last 15, 20
I don't know. Fans seem to accept it. I don't know if it's because it adds a bit of, talking points and a bit more conjecture to the game, and everyone go, I don't know. But I remind you, I think it's really important. So when I harp on about it, it's really important to remember, I'm not talking about gamesmanship. It's been there 100 years that football's been going. I know I used to play. If you clip the striker and he goes down, you're stupid. Simple as that. He goes down because you've clipped him and he gets a penalty. That's a whole different ballgame. I'm on about no one touching anyone and going down. I'm about people going down and then springing back up and sprinting after someone. I don't know where that lives. That cannot be acceptable.
Sean, can you offer a solution?
Pardon?
Can you offer a solution?
Yeah, really simply, just ban them. Yeah, it'll be out of football within a month. Because if you're a manager, why would you want to lose your best players? If, by the way, it is your best players that are doing it. It might not be your best players, but the point is, why would you want to lose players over which actually, when you think about it, is a bit of a silly thing, really. But it's grown into not a silly thing. It's grown into a level where it's every week now. They used to highlight it. How much have they done that? When you think back about 7 or 8 years, it used to be highlighted. Now they don't even show it. Doesn't even get showed now. That's peculiar about life. Probably about life, actually.
If your
Yeah, probably is about life.
Presumably your players don't do it because you pick them up on it.
Probably. I don't know. By the way, we don't have big meetings about it. No. They probably hear me do this, and they probably think,
If they get an advantage, surely you can't. It's difficult to tell them not
Well, from cheating? Well, what are you going to do then? So you go, all right, I'll tell you what then. When your kids, if you've got kids, they're growing up, they do a maths test. Yeah. And the teacher comes and says, your kid cheated. Well done. That's all right, well done. Do you do that? I don't think so. You go, by the way, what are you doing? And then you go down and you agree with the teacher, or you should be agreeing with the teacher, and go, it's unacceptable. This is professional sport. Professional sport. Acceptable to just get a yellow card, to cheat, literally cheat and get a yellow card.
Your team is then at a disadvantage.
Well, you've got your own reasons to want to do what you want to do. And when you're a manager, you want to do them in your way. So that's my way of doing it. But like I say, I need to be really clear so it doesn't go the wrong way. If my player gets pushed in the back, I'd expect him to go down. If he gets pushed in the back in the penalty, I'd expect him to go down. Because that is clever play. That's gamesmanship. That's the margin. They're the inches that are in sport everywhere. Tennis players taking a bit too long, in the break and, tying their lace, all them things. They've been there in sport for hundreds of years or whatever. But the point is, I want about blatant stuff. It just, where's the end?
Sean, bring it back to the game. Just your thoughts on Nick Pope today.
Is there a game on? Okay. I didn't notice.
Thoughts on Nick Pope? Made a couple of really, really good saves.
Yeah, he did. He was quiet early on. And then made a tip over the bar early on, which was standard. But then second half, he made 2 big saves, one down to his left, I think, and the one from really short distance later on in the game. He's getting sharper. Because obviously he hadn't played for a long time, and he's getting sharper. He's coming back. His kicking was a bit off today, but I think that will come back to him. Really good group. I'm enjoying the group of keepers. Joe Hart's come back in really fine form and doing a good job. And then Bailey's obviously going to come up on the rails and learn from them as well.
Element of Nick sort of growing in confidence as he gets back into the sort of swing.
Well, most keepers, I don't think they're lacking a starting point of confidence because you've got to be confident to be a keeper. It's a very, out there job, isn't it? And I think we all judge every game, what a keeper's done. But no, I think he's rounded enough and he continues to improve. And no, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm lucky with the first goal, which slipped through his legs.
Yeah. I mean, the lad gets a good turn, and he's not good defending from us actually, but he gets a good turn on and strikes it, and hard and low, you've got a chance.
Danny's ringed him to maybe need a couple of.
Yeah, we've got some football for him this week to see how he goes. But the two midfielders again today, I thought were excellent. They cover the ground, they're willing to press, they're brave with their pressing, and they can both play. So he knows he's got to work to get into the team, that's for sure.
And just lastly for me on the makeup of the bench, you mentioned in the week about you had an extra centre half on the bench, obviously you didn't this week, but Charlie Taylor came back. So it was
Yeah, well, like I was just saying, I think we've got such a competitive group now that I want to try and keep them all involved. So I think the bench could change, and I said to him that the bench could be where you weren't on the bench, you could go straight into the team. Do you know what I mean? It's not like there's that much competition now in all areas that I want that, but then that means some have got to miss out. So the idea is when we can, we will get people back on the bench just to make them keep them stimulated, keep them part of the group. So we've only got a smallish group. So I think that's part of it, keeping the mentality right of the group. It's going to be important for it's a long season, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
It's just, I guess, just covering the makeup that you wanted, extra defender perhaps than another attacking option on there.
Yeah, we choose accordingly for what we think. Away from home, not always, but generally you probably go slightly more defensive and cover. At home you often go with more strikers, more wide players, more production, if you know what I mean. So, but no, we'll plan it out as we see fit for each game that comes.
Sean, just one incident I wanted to ask you about. Ashley Barnes at the end, it looked like he pushed Zed Kolasinac off the ball. We're talking about what players should and shouldn't do. Will you have a word with him about that?
No, because I've seen it back. Kolasinac runs across him, deliberately looking at him, ready to cut across his path. So therefore he just deals with it accordingly by saying, get out of the way. So it's simple, I've seen it back. It's okay? Yeah. Cheers everyone.
Well, thanks a lot.